I am pleased to be welcoming back the president of the Toronto Tempo. Teresa Resch is joining us from Toronto as she overlooks the Scotiabank Arena. And Teresa is going to bring us up to date on all that is happening with getting this team formed and ready to go. And Teresa, thanks so much for making time today.
No, it's great to be here. And yeah, I may overlook Scotiabank Arena, but we're excited to play at Coca-Cola Coliseum and have CIBC and Sephora on our jerseys. Like, so much has happened since we last talked. So good to be back.
Well, it's great to have you back. And let's start there. I mean, I'll drop another brand. As it relates to the Raptors, Tangerine has been a long-time banking supporter. I mean, we got Scotiabank on the arena, but we got Tangerine Bank with the Raptors. I'm excited that CIBC has jumped on board with the Tempo. Talk about that partnership. And Sephora, my goodness, that is a marvelous partnership.
Yeah, both of our founding partners came on board, before we even had a name. So they were very excited and saw, more than anything, they're incredible partners because they saw the value in women's sports. And they were first at the table to say, we want to be part of this. We want to be part of this in a big way. And we value what you're bringing to the community and to sports. And it was great to be able to announce a partnership. So we announced Sephora just at the beginning of the year, about almost exactly a year ago, and then CIBC last spring. And then we were able to actually show them on our jerseys when we released that in middle of December. So great to have those partners on board. Sephora already stepped up and was a partner with us for Tempo Together, our belonging platform, kind of like an elevated code of conduct for our fans that was created with them, that we launched in the summertime. CIBC, incredible program, Champions of Ambition, that has been running all season long. If you watch some of those Raptor games, sometimes you might see some of those ads.
I do.
Featuring our general manager, Monica Rogers. So definitely two brands that have stepped up and we're excited to have on board, not just for the first season, but multi-year deals.
Teresa, I was thinking about how I could frame what I believe you're doing in your particular role. And the idea came to me that you're in a pottery class and you've been handed this ball of clay, and then you've been said, all right, make this into a professional women's basketball team vase. And it's like you're starting from scratch. And I know that's a bit of an exaggeration, but I think the idea is true in that you're in a new country. Your women's basketball is huge in Canada. As I mentioned to you, I'm wearing the Edmonton Grad sweatshirt and logo. Women's basketball is very special in Edmonton. But we've seen such an outpouring. We'll talk about that in just a bit. But what's it been like putting together the early stages of this team and getting ready for the upcoming season?
Well, I think your analogy is great. I think I'd add some more details, right? So you have the potter's wheel, you have this clay, but what we have is, we've never worked with it before, but we know we have this, like, the most exquisite, best possible clay we get to work with, right? So we have like this incredible piece to start with, this raw kind of like product. We've never worked with it before, but then we also have, you know how you always use water and some other tools to, like, we have all those resources available to us to shape it and mold it, though. Just never done it. So there's a lot of pressure to make sure that this, like, very expensive kind of raw materials gets shaped into this exquisite elite level vase or team. And we know we have all the tools, but we've never used them before. So, like, that's kind of what we're doing right now. And it's an incredible opportunity. It feels that way, a lot of pressure, but also a lot of great things that have been done before us, right? So many different people who have, go back to the analogy, so many incredible clay makers and vase makers who have been the best in the world, who are at our disposal to help us make something and create something beautiful. So we've done a lot of work in the last year and a half since we were awarded the team in May of 2024. But we have some big work left to do. And a lot of that is surrounding the actual basketball team. So we have an expansion draft coming up. We have free agency. We have the college draft to really mold the team. We still have some hiring to do. We have our head coach, Sandy Brondello. Very excited to have her on board, a proven winner. She's going to build out her staff. We need to have the support staff, scouts, medical, to keep the players healthy. And then we also are working on the team, the business side too. So we have season seat holders. We've sold out of that allotment, but we're going to go on sale with partial plans, with group tickets. And then ultimately, after the schedule is released, we'll have single tickets for sale. So a lot to do there too. That will be really fun. We're going to have a full campaign leading up to the launch of the season, first ever season. So we're going to build a ton of excitement. And then we'll have additional partners. We talked about CABC and Sephora as our founding partners. We had a great partner step up, TurboTax, and they led a mascot aura audit, which was pretty fun throughout the month of December. But we'll have an announcement of other partners coming on board as well.
So other than that, you're not doing much of anything, right? That's
just at my potter's wheel, shaping that exquisite raw material clay.
Absolutely. While on a unicycle juggling chainsaws. So I think it's marvelous to hear. But I think the reason I wanted to talk about that is I wanted to give our listeners and viewers an opportunity to understand what it means to try to put a professional sports franchise, groundbreaking professional sports franchise together from scratch. And what you and your team are doing is actually just fantastic. And I'm talking to Teresa Resch. She is the president of the Toronto Tempo, Canada's new entry into the WNBA, here on Hoop City with Paul Sir. I just want to touch on Sandy Brondello. I mean, what a resume. I was reviewing it again right before we had the conversation, but as a player, as an Australian player who was a 3-time Olympian with 3 medals, going into an outstanding playing career in the WNBA, phasing into coaching, winning 2 championships, most recently 2024 with the New York Liberty. The foundation to have that individual with that pedigree, with that experience to draw on, how important is that? You've touched on it already, but I think it merits a statement just on Sandy's presence of what it means to the team and to the franchise.
You missed one quality that Sandy has, which she's an incredible person. She's exceptionally, I've gotten to work with her a little bit. She did have some duties, as you mentioned. She's now the head coach of the Australian national team. So she was there for a while over the winter working with the national team there. But she's an incredible collaborator, a great person. She doesn't take herself too seriously. She likes to have fun as well. And awesome. You want to work with people that you want to spend time with. And Sandy's definitely one of those people. So we can't forget that quality to go along with all the other things on her resume.
Maybe that's the most important quality anyway.
Yeah. But I do believe that, by hiring her and really by her choosing us, because she had many options out there, it really sends a message to the league that we're serious. We're a serious contender and we're serious about winning. So I don't think that we can say it, we can talk it, but the actions that we take is what we're going to be measured against. And I think by hiring Sandy, we've definitely sent a message that that's what we're about.
Teresa, you're part of the WNBA at a historical time in women's sports in general, but women's basketball specifically. The growth in popularity of the WNBA over the last couple of years has been remarkable. You're still in the midst of a collective bargaining negotiation. It's a significant one because it is going to set the tone and lay out the pathway for moving forward on how the WNBA is growing up as a professional sports league. But talk about the role and the importance of an expansion team like the Tempo in the WNBA at this point in women's basketball history, where there's so much momentum, so much emerging passion, and such a great fan base continuing to grow. How important are the Tempo in that big picture that I just painted?
Well, Paul, I'm obviously going to be very biased with this answer because I am the president of Tempo. So I think that we are exceptionally important and a key part of the WNBA strategy. But But the one thing that is very true, and I'm not biased, is like we are entering this league into a whole new atmosphere. We were the first team outside of the United States. We are representing an entire country. With the membership in the league, we are also granted commercial rights from coast to coast across Canada, which means that our IP, our name, logo, will be across this country, not limited to just Toronto. And that is a new precedent that's never been done before. So we're ushering in really an international reach for the league that they've never had before. And we're really proud to be that and to have that as an opportunity and really a responsibility for this team.
It is a big responsibility to have a nation, not just a city to speak to. And that'll be my final question, because I know your time is limited. But what will the Tempo be doing outside of Toronto to build this as Canada's team?
Yeah, so in year one, we've announced that we're going to be playing home games outside of Toronto. So we've announced 2 games in Montreal and 2 games in Vancouver. So we're really excited to activate in those specific markets. The way that we show up, we look forward to encapsulating all of Canada. We look forward to hearing from our fans and how we can do that well. We plan to have, games across linear and streaming and, accessible through our social channels and, all kinds of ways that fans can interact, even if you can't get to a game, whether it's in Toronto, Montreal, or Vancouver, because we want everybody to feel part of this. And we're working on it, right? I think that that's part of it is like we are new, we have great ambitions, but those are only as good as the people that we're talking to. So we look forward to hearing from the fans, telling us how we can show up, ways in which we can show up that will make you all feel part of it, even if you're not at a game, not at every single game, or on the court playing, right? Like the fans are, there's a reason why we have 6 speed lines. It represents the 5 players on the court and the 6, the fans, and those people that support those players that are representing us on the court. And that's all of Canada. And honestly, more than that, right? I mean, I think we represent Canada as the Toronto Tempo, but we envision our fans to be across this world and global. We know that Canada is home to so many new Canadians, me including one. I became a citizen in 2022, so I'm a new Canadian, and there's a lot of people like me who have come to this country and, latched on to the most exciting thing that's happening at the time. And I like to think that that's the Tempo, and it makes you feel closer to this country. But ultimately, your friends and family maybe aren't all here, but you're staying in contact with them, and therefore those people also have a favorite team in the Toronto Tempo.
Absolutely. Well, Teresa, we're excited to hear and to see the releases that will be coming out about everything that you're doing, from playing to buying tickets, to broadcast, everything that the Tempo will be standing for. Thanks so much for making some time. I'll look forward to speaking with you again as your time allows, as we get closer to the season. But it's great to see you. Thank you for the work that you're doing, and all the best in the upcoming days, weeks, and months leading up to this very exciting time that's coming up for women's basketball through the Tempo in Canada.
Amazing. Thanks for having me, and thanks for always telling the Tempo story. Can't wait to actually get on the court.
Absolutely. Teresa Resch, president of the Toronto Tempo of the WNBA, in their lead up to the inaugural season here on Hoop City with Paul Sir on Sports 1440.